Buenos días amigos, ¿estás aquí porque quieres aprender español de verdad esta vez? Lo entiendo, he intentado aprender español muchísimas veces, pero mi nivel siempre se quedaba igual. El año pasado no había de ninguna manera que yo pudiera decirte esto.
Hoy he visto gallinas en un huerto.
Perdón, gallinas en un huerto. Ah, huerto.
Huerto. ¿Puedo estar nerviosa?
En los últimos meses pasé del nivel A2 al B1 y estoy aquí para explicarte cómo. You may be wondering, why are we doing this video? We're a travel channel where we show you all the amazing things to eat and see and do in the places we visit. But we've been to so many Spanish-speaking countries. We've spent extensive time in Mexico and Spain, Panama, and we plan to visit many more Spanish-speaking countries. And when we're there, we get a lot of questions about how I have learned to speak Spanish. So I'm here today to show you what I've been doing to improve my Spanish over the last few years because this has been a journey. I will be the first to tell you that I'm not fluent, but I promise I am just barely at a B1 at this point, and there's still a long way to go to sound like a native Spanish speaker. But I am the furthest along in my Spanish journey than I ever have been before, because I know many of you follow in our footsteps and are traveling to amazing Spanish-speaking destinations, or maybe you just want to learn Spanish to like one-up your friends, your family, be able to have conversations with more people for your work. Whatever the reason, I'm going to be giving you some actionable steps on ways to actually speak Spanish confidently and to improve how quickly you learn a language. I feel like it's important to share my journey because I didn't start from scratch when it comes to learning Spanish. Technically, I have been learning Spanish since I was a child, and I learned Spanish all the way until high school. You'd think that I would be like really fluent, but that's just not true. I ended up getting a teach abroad program where I could teach English in a small village in Spain, and I was placed with a Spanish-speaking family. And I quickly learned after arriving that all of my schooling pretty much taught me nothing. I did not know how to speak. I could not understand anything. It was so overwhelming. After about 2 weeks, I started to like slowly pick up on the language and remember some of the basic things that I learned in school. I spoke like a toddler who was still very much learning the language. I made a lot of mistakes, but I was at least having conversations and could participate in things. After I returned back to Florida and I didn't really speak Spanish for like 8 years, I lost it for sure. And when we started traveling again, I had to relearn everything.
Buenas tardes. ¿Podemos parquear o estación? I don't know how to say that.
¿Estacionamiento?
Sí, Siente de El Río.
Why did you stop us?
¿Por qué nos paró?
Paró.
Paró.
¿Por qué nos paró?
¿Por qué nos paró?
I definitely had a stronger foundation and I picked up on things faster than I had the first time, but it was like I was learning all over again. When it comes to tools, there are a lot of options out there. A lot of them work, but a lot of them don't. You're not going to reach conversational Spanish with gamified point and match apps or just from reading and writing in a textbook. I'm really sorry, but it's just not gonna happen. It's really good for expanding and building vocabulary and get you introduced to language, but you're missing the opportunity of actually speaking. It's why so many people who know Spanish are able to understand what they're reading or hearing, but aren't able to actually ask questions or to engage in a conversation. Real conversations aren't slow, robotic sentences that you hear from a computer or an app. It's fluid, it moves quickly, you have different dialects, different slang terms that happen.
Porque es un regalo, creo, ¿no?
Eso es para nosotros y el otro es uno de regalo.
And you have to be able to like hear and respond, which is something that most apps and textbooks can never prepare you for. It wasn't until I started using a program that had me speaking with real native speakers every single lesson and getting the opportunity to ask questions and get feedback on things like my pronunciation.
Ayer a las 11 estaba en clase de natación. ¿Qué significa natación?
Clase de nadar.
Ah, ok.
Natación
Vale.
es el deporte.
Sí, sí.
I'm currently using Lingoda for my language classes. I've been using them for about a year and a half now, and I have seen such an improvement in my skills, and I know it's from this program. They are the sponsor of this video, but I do believe they are one of the best language learning programs out there because they force you to speak every single class. It is not optional, and you're taking classes in a structured way on real topics that are helpful for you in life.
¿A dónde viajaste hace 3 veranos?
Pienso, yo viajé.
Viajé.
Yo viajé a España para un mes.
Por un mes.
Por un mes para visitar nuestros amigos.
It starts with an assessment to see where you should begin your course, and then they have structured classes that include vocabulary, speaking, writing opportunities, and grammar. And you have a native teacher every single class to help engage and give you feedback. It takes this like pressure off because I have a safe space where I can make mistakes and get feedback. En una misma frase. Una misma frase. I used to just take their group classes and that was my like Spanish practice for the day. But now I'm dedicated to reviewing at least 30 minutes a day with their lingo bites and flashcards. And it's helped me definitely make less errors as I'm speaking with my teachers. Lingoda offers over 755,000 classes a year, so there is always a class time that will work with your schedule. And if you really want to push yourself, you can join Lingoda's Sprint, where you take 15 classes in 30 days, or really want to get speaking, you can take 30 classes in that timeline. And if you finish the sprint and follow the rules, you can get up to 50% of your tuition back, or you can redeem them as future class credits to continue your language journey. If you're serious about learning Spanish, you need to try Lingoda. I promise it is a game changer and it will help you actually become conversational in Spanish. You can join me in learning Spanish by scanning this QR code or using the link in the video description below. Of course, if you can live abroad in a Spanish-speaking country while you're learning Spanish, it will definitely speed the process up. But if it's not an option, you can create your own immersion environment at home. Listen to Spanish radio, watch movies and TVs in Spanish, find podcasts hosted by native speakers. Every morning, I go for a walk around the park by my neighborhood, and I love using this time to listen to Spanish podcasts. I just found one called Españolistos, and it is so good. It might be my favorite right now, but there's a ton out there. The key though is to find a Spanish podcast that is from a native speaker. There are a lot of like slow speaking or learn Spanish podcasts out there. Some of them are very good, honestly, but they're from gringos who do have a gringo accent, and it does change the way that you'll experience Spanish. You obviously want to master the language so that you minimize your own accent, and the key to doing that is by learning from a native speaker. You get to hear their rhythm, their vocabulary, their speech in a natural way. Books are also very underrated. I think a lot of people are intimidated to read books when they're learning Spanish, but once you get to a specific level, I think it's good to start exposing yourself to literature in Spanish. There are easy readers that you can get online that are not exactly the most exciting stories in the whole world, but they do practice tenses based on your language skill. Once you get beyond that though, you can branch out into more well-known literature. Just check the levels before you actually buy the book or get it from the library, because if you read something that's too far beyond where you're at, it's going to feel really frustrating and intimidating, and it's going to kind of set you back some in your language skill. I'm reading El Alquimista, which is one of my favorite books in English, The Alchemist. It's around the B1, B2 skill level, which is what I'm working toward. So it's reinstilling the things that I've recently learned while expanding my vocabulary and grammar in a really fun, actually interesting way. The last thing you can do to really immerse yourself in Spanish is by watching movies and TV in Spanish. Make sure that you have your subtitles turned on to Spanish, not English. This will help you with that like listening and reading. There are so many good programs out there on Netflix, Prime Video, Hulu, Peacock. Taco Chronicles is probably our favorite. It's about Mexican tacos and all the different varieties you can find across the country. I mean, like, what's not to love there? Now, I want to talk about dialects because there's a lot of advice out there that tell you to stick to one dialect. And if you don't know what I mean by dialect, countries will use completely different vocabulary words that can mean very different things depending on where you are. There's also different grammar tenses. For example, in Spain, they use something called vosotros, but in a lot of Latin American countries, they don't use vosotros. In South America, they use something called vos instead of tú. So it can be really complicated. And if you think you're going to be spending a lot of time in a place, that's the dialect that you should choose. But if you're going to be starting from scratch and you're really just learning Spanish because you want to learn Spanish, I would recommend choosing either Mexican or Colombian dialect. They are both very clear and easy to understand. I personally have decided to use Castellano as my main dialect, but I do expose myself to all of the different dialects listening to podcasts, watching movies, and even asking questions when I'm in my Lingoda classes, because a lot of the teachers are from different Spanish-speaking countries, so they're able to expose me to some of the different vocabulary and tenses. And I really like that because when we land in a place, I won't be so intimidated by hearing a different accent or hearing a different tense. I'll kind of be familiarized with what's different from what I've learned. Now that you have some tools and resources to start your journey, you're going to need a place to store it all. I have chosen to use Notion. It's an online tool that helps you organize literally everything. I use it for trip planning, for planning out our YouTube videos, and I have a Spanish hub that is like my mecca of everything I'm learning. I'm able to take notes during my classes on Lingoda and add them to their specific category so I can review them when I'm on the go since it has an app. I just absolutely love it, and I do have my Spanish Learning Hub. If you are interested in trying Notion, it's completely free. You need to review at least 30 minutes to an hour, if not more, every day. I think consistency and exposing yourself to vocabulary that you've recently learned is the best way to actually retain the information. I think it was kind of one of my missing pieces of the puzzle previously in my language journey, so don't discount this and find a way to organize it that works for you. I am right now working heavily on the past tense, which is notoriously difficult in Spanish. There are 3 separate past tenses. It's like completely overwhelming, but this hub has definitely helped me have like kind of a quick cheat sheet as I'm reviewing. Another thing that I love to do that has helped me a lot lately is use ChatGPT. I will give it prompts asking it to work on something that I recently did in my Lingoda class, and then I can either speak it back to ChatGPT or type it out, and it gives me notes on ways that I can improve or you have changed vocabulary to be more like a native speaker. Google Translate is like the go-to, I think, when you're out and about and just trying to find the definition or meaning of a specific word, but I do not recommend using it for your translations or to check your work. A lot of times it's very inaccurate. You can use a tool called Spanish Checker, or again, just use ChatGPT. It really is surprisingly accurate. I also have 2 textbooks that I use to study. They are more like the process that you would have learned when you were in school. And I like them because they do give me structure and written practice, but it really is missing the element of speaking. So it definitely isn't the end all be all. It can just be an additional resource. No matter what though, the key is speaking. You need to practice speaking out loud, and I know it can be intimidating and embarrassing. I get it. I've said some really dumb stuff over the years. One time we were in Spain visiting my Spanish family at dinner, and I said, "Dennis ate me" in front of everyone, and they all started laughing. It was really embarrassing. You're gonna make mistakes. It is a part of it. You have to get over that. You don't have to just take lessons to speak. I mean, I think that's a fantastic way, but you have to practice outside of that. So if you're reading a text, read it out loud so that you can hear your pronunciation. Sometimes I'll even record myself and listen back to it so that I can like hear the small errors I might not have noticed when I was speaking it out loud. Another thing I like to do is just have conversations with myself. Yes, I talk to myself in Spanish. Well, in both languages, to be honest. When I'm cooking dinner, I will literally talk out loud about what I'm doing in my steps. Like I'm chopping the onions, I'm putting the pasta into the pot. It sounds really basic, but it really can expand your vocabulary quite quickly, helping you realize the gaps in what you know. We will have tutor recommendations if you want something that's more one-on-one. Lingoda does offer that, but there's also other resources out there. But that's it. That is what I do to get to level B1 and what I'm going to be continuing doing until I reach fluency, which I would love to eventually get to C2, but listen, C1 will be excellent. It's the same process that you can use. I'm sorry that it is not as easy as just playing a game on your phone. It takes dedication. It takes showing up for classes with structure and speaking opportunities and having that full immersion. But I promise you can do it. Si quieres las recomendaciones que he mencionado en este video, puedes encontrar un enlace abajo con todos mis programas favoritos, de libros o películas para ver. Todo está abajo en la descripción de este video y buena suerte con tu aprendizaje de español, si puedes, si cometes. Hasta pronto. The camera turns on and I'm like, hola. Okay. I'm gonna start in just a second. No,